the glory that was the Knicks NBA victory, and disguising a desire to throw some shade at the Knicks owner, one James Dolan, who is a real fucking piece of work. But first, the positives that the Knicks, arm in arm with our local hero Mayor Mondani, really showed out beautifully, embraced the city, and vice versa. The ticker tape parade, breaking records, the Jalen Brunson and Friends connection to Villanova, where the Pope also went to college. It was a feel good story layered upon another feel good story, which at this particular time in the Tangerine Noriega era, it is we'll take what we can get. And as I professed, as I confessed, as I stipulated, I am a lifelong Boston Celtics fan, and will be until they pack me away in a pine box. So initially, it was a little bit uncomfortable getting so fired up about the Knicks, but we're in the same division. So if the Knicks are in it, the Celtics by default are out. And as I probably bragged 12 or 17 times, the Boston Celtics are they have more championships than any other professional basketball team in the U.S., 18. So I can be proud in that and still enjoy the ride that the Knicks gave us. But but Jim Dolan is a particular sort of miserable cat and has been for a very long time. He is, you will not be surprised to learn, closely connected to one Donald John Trump. They've been friends for a very long time. You know, they're in an informal, rich, white prick club in New York. They're sort of a natural team. In fact, Dolan had I don't know if it was his most recent marriage, but was married at Mar-a-Lago uh, 20, almost 25 years ago, sometime. Dolan has given lavishly to both Trump campaigns. I think more than 300,000 in Trump 1.0, and about half that much again in the last round. So he is a big Trump supporter. He is an incredibly wealthy man, but he has certain distinctions that set him apart. The ownership in professional sports generally is a whole bunch of, if you said, okay, all the rich white pricks go to the left-hand side of the room, the right side would be, it would be pretty sparse because there are plenty of them to go around. And not surprisingly, these are people that are predominantly, white billionaires, and they like to play with their toys. But Dolan's he's a particularly vile um, species of white prick. He's disdainful of his players. He's in a decade plus long cat fight with Charles Oakley, who, if I was going to pick somebody to square off against, metaphorically, figuratively, or otherwise, I don't think would it be Oak, right? He's a very dangerous man, and he was wonderful to watch on the court every time he would play the Celtics. He's somebody you had to keep an eye, because when Oakley sets a pick, it's something that you might remember for a lifetime if you don't get a little communication from your teammates and have your head on a swivel. He was a presence, and he and Dolan just got in a pissing match, and then Dolan, libel, slander, and every other bad thing, called Oak a drunk, I don't know if drugs, just all sorts of lies in the press about him to disparage his character and try to knock him down because he wasn't sucking up to Dolan the way Dolan's a lot like Trump. He's a grievance guy. He's a rich guy that thinks he's the king. He is like, it's Madison Square Garden, so you're the center of the sports universe in New York City, and you can see the parallels. You can see what would cause spoiled pricks to behave badly in that situation. So then Dolan took it in a more dark direction. Over the years that followed that altercation with Oakley, there were rumors and then proven fact that Dolan really dialed up the surveillance that was going on in and around the garden, and he would track, stalk, or otherwise pursue, and it alleged that he had cameras and listening devices in places that would be precluded by law or certainly by good taste. If not, he owns the real estate. So there are certain things. I'm not suggesting that he has cameras in women's bathrooms because we're talking about men's teams. But he's a creepy guy. And again, he's one of those rich pricks that thinks that because he thought of it, it's a good idea, and because he's rich enough to hire lawyers, he can act with impunity, just like Donald Trump. He also had connections um, with um, he. I don't know that he wears a Me Too T-shirt, James Dolan. I'm guessing he probably doesn't, but he was. Associated with with Jeffrey Epstein way back when. And Dolan and Epstein were trying to buy New York Magazine, which didn't happen. And this is going back 20 years, about plus or minus. And yeah, so it's just bad people left and right. And he has gone so far. A fun story. John Morgan, who is the head of Morgan and Morgan, it's a commercial that you've probably seen on network television, even, or heard his ads on podcasts and on the radio. He has probably the most successful PI personal injury law group in the country, and he's sort of the poster child of all the things that the rules of professional responsibility warned you against 20 odd years ago. Like, lawyers should not be advertising, they should not take endorsements, they should not talk about the size of the judgments they earn, all those things. And John Morgan turned those things around by founding his firms initially in states. I think maybe he began in South Carolina or somewhere like that, where he had a great deal more influence and latitude. And he just kind of then would partner with PI firms across the country, and push the boundaries out further and further. And Mr. Attorney Morgan is a billionaire. He's a very successful man. He also is banned from Madison Square Garden because his PI firm has been successful. He and many of his attorneys have been successful suing Madison Square Garden Entertainment. And so what Dolan does is talk about the parallels to Trump and the Trump regime and the things that he's done to the law firms that were associated with investigations around around Vladimir Putin's election wins and all such things. If you were any attorney, a line attorney that worked on a case that was in opposition to Dolan or Madison Square Garden Entertainment, then you're barred from Madison Square Garden. and they have facial recognition software to make sure that you don't get in. And I don't have the list, but the number of attorneys that are barred is somewhere between 200 and 1,000. So and it isn't just Morgan and Morgan, but any attorney that sued the Garden for any reason, you're barred from attending events there. So you could imagine that this past month, that a lot of attorneys, like a lot of big businesses, were trying to bring key clients. They have season tickets, they have skyboxes, and clients clamor for those tickets to see the Knicks. It was the hottest ticket in town, and anything you can be assured that Morgan and Morgan don't have season tickets any longer. If they did, but they can't even get inside the door to buy a $50 T-shirt. Um, I don't know of any evidence of him barring anyone else, any other business partners or anything like that, but I wouldn't be surprised because it's like Trump with 2 days ago was my Palantir episode. The technology is there. It's just a matter of money. Dolan can afford the very best technology of Palantirs or otherwise to to surveil and otherwise get all up in the business of any paying ticket holder, player, coach, or enemy attorney combatant. So, but if you just say how delightful that two such truly miserable human beings are aligned in this special way, and they've sort of kind of like wonder twins that they could be miserable together, hold grievances over decades, and it's just it's despicable. So, um, what was the other one? Even more delightful that the New York Magazine attempt also involved one Harvey Weinstein, right? So if you if you want to do a lineup and you took Dolan, Trump, Epstein, Weinstein, what do you got? You got I don't know. You probably have two Jews and two Catholics, I guess. I don't even know what Trump is, but you have you know enormous wealth and an almost unsatiable appetite for getting themselves in trouble with unsuitably young women. So yeah, so that's kind of a heartwarming part of the Knicks' tale for this year. I mean, it really should be Brunson. There's all this wonderful talk about, is he now the best Knick ever? That, of course, remains Sir Patrick Ewing until somebody takes it away from him. Uh, Patrick Brunson has, as far as the number of years played, I think he has 13 more years to go to catch Patrick. And of course, he has he has now he will end up with more rings than Patrick, but Patrick will be the all-time leading scorer, rebounder, and and the enforcers that they had there at Madison Square Garden, Patrick Ewing, no shrinking violet, Cambridge Ringed Latin, and yeah, fun fact that Patrick Ewing went to the same high school that Matt Damon did. So Cambridge and Latin. In fact, my high school played against Patrick Ewing, but I was still too short and still too white to be qualified to be on my team. I pretended to do other things like wrestling in the winter, more to get in shape for other sports that were more important. But yeah, not as short as James Dolan, thankfully. Thankfully, he's not a midget, but he's about 5'5", I think, and just a miserable human being. So enough about that. Wanted to take it out on a positive Knicks note. I'll sign off on the Knicks for the year because I have to go. This is my like, oh yeah, great, you're a Red Sox fan. What the fuck is that? This is my national. I'm old enough to get a pass at having a National League team, right? And so this is Say Hey Willie Mays. Kids, look it up. A great player and a tribute to the sport, a trendsetter, a norm breaker, all good things, kind of in the great men in the sport that came after Jackie. Willie Mays was one of them. So yeah, so it's been fun talking Knicks for I think the last time. I don't know unless Mr. Brunson calls me up and says, I got to do one more interview. You're the guy. Let's talk Dolan. Am I going to say no? Of course. But otherwise, I'm going to say thank you. Wish you all the great night. Maybe something tomorrow. Definitely back on Monday. Um, there's plenty in the news, plenty of silliness, plenty of Donald J. Trump's a great deal with uh, the Iranians that are just laughing at him, as is every other major leader in every other capital in the world. And that will continue. He's rolling out J.D. Vance to be Mr. Apologia. He's rolling out Pastor Pete Hegseth to insult our NATO allies again for whatever reason. We have no idea. But the joke is on us and will continue to be so until Donald Trump leaves either the office, the mortal coil, or the both. So thank you. Have a beautiful night. Stay out of trouble. And we'll check back in with you sometime tomorrow being Sunday or Monday. Thank you very much.